Hey guys and gals, Board now back with you. On this video I will be talking about The Last of Us Season 1 Episode 7. The episode is called Left Behind. Full spoilers from the start of this review as always. And this is a very personal episode when it comes to the Ellie character. We see in the present she's desperately trying to keep Joel alive. The real cliffhanger from last week where he appeared to be dying. So she's now nursing him back to health, helping to mend his wounds and find a cure for him. So it feels quite natural then it's a good time to cut back to the past with her, because we go back to her academy days. We fill in some more blanks about that. We're introduced to a new character of Riley who she knew in the past, and this is the sort of episode you can only really do 7 episodes in. Like if you did it 3 episodes in, you wouldn't really care. 3 or 4 in, it just wouldn't have the same impact because you wouldn't know Ellie enough at that point to really get into it. But at this point you're invested, so that's why the episode works. And it's a very simple episode. It's maybe, judging it compared to the rest of the season, it's not one of the best episodes, but I still got a lot out of it. It was a really good character-driven, focused episode with a lot of suspense still, a lot of tension about what exactly was going to play out, when something was going to happen, if something tragic was about to happen. Because one of the things this show does is then there's always that stuff lurking somewhere behind the corner. It's just when it's going to come out. So we flash back to Ellie's academy days and we see that she's a bit of a loner. She's being bullied at the academy by this other girl, and it's revealed that she's got this friend of Riley, called Riley, who has disappeared. Riley is part of the game as well, but she's disappeared like a few weeks back, and she was Ellie's closest friend there. We later see in the episode that they were much more than friends, but that's something that's revealed later on. So that's really impacted on Ellie, and we see her get into trouble for beating up this other girl. She spends a bit of time in the hole, or she has, but she's told by the guy running the place, then if we just put you back in there, you're not really going to learn anything. You're just going to carry on down the same path. So he installs a bit of faith in her, or attempts to anyway, but she's really at a loss. So her friend Riley shows up out of the blue, having not seen her for weeks. So as far as Ellie is concerned, she was worried she might be dead, that she might not be coming back, and that fits quite well with her concerns in the present with Joel. Then she might lose Joel. She's had this before, where the reason she has become so cynical and independent is because often she has been left alone, or she's been let down by people who should be parental figures. That's why the relationship with Joel is so important. But Riley returns and she says she wants to show her something. So it turns out she has been recruited by the Fireflies, and what we get here is we get a trip to the mall, which Riley knows how to get into. Like, she's broken into it, and this is a really fun episode, partly because it's just literally two girls, 2 preteen girls at the mall when it's all empty, and just the freedom of that then it allows them, because this is a world where there's not a lot of freedom, and it's not a typical situation for girls of this age where they do have a certain amount of freedom. They very rarely get to let their hair down or enjoy themselves, and that's what we see in this episode. And even though there's something coming, you feel it, and you just feel then it's all going to, well, at the same time, there's a lot of fun to be had, and it does feel like two girls just enjoying themselves, and you follow them along, and it's a little bit of an adventure. Riley says she has 4 stages to show Ellie, like 4 games, 4 missions. So they go to the arcade, they have a little sort of play fight where they got monster masks on. There's various things going on over the course of the night, and they go on a carousel as well, which is a real classic sort of like visual. But yeah, like in many ways this is Riley trying to show Ellie that she does have the better life, she does have more freedom, because this is the Fireflies compared with the group who Ellie has been, brought and raised by. And there's some good banter, there's some fun dialogue between the two, because they both accuse the other side of like propaganda. That's a really funny like line, propaganda bullshit, where they both give their own opinions on things, because Ellie is being, raised by this more religious group, and they drove Riley away. That's why she left. But it's good to see like this sort of world building where you have these 2 very young characters, but who have both had to grow up very fast, and they both have like these set world views now, like these ideas of politics, and the truth in reality is that both sides are very flawed, and maybe both sides are not ideal for these girls, but then it's kind of all they've had, and they've had to make a decision. Riley, by the way, I recognise the actress. She was in The Invisible Man, the most recent one. She played like the daughter of the cop who Elizabeth Moss's character was staying with, and so she's looking like a real fine actress too. Like there's a lot of natural chemistry between her and between Bella Ramsey. But this is just a nice, fun little like adventure around the mall, with just moments of tension like packed into it. And the big reveal is then Riley has been sent there to recruit Ellie. So it's almost this idea of she wants one last night with her, and it turns out she's been like shipped out the next morning to leave, but they have sent her to recruit Ellie, and Riley insists that she sincerely wanted to see her. It wasn't just because she'd been given the assignment. Then she wanted to see her friend one last time, and we see that there's romantic feelings between them, because they kiss at one point, and it's a really sweet, tender moment. But it appears as though Riley truly believes that then this is the right life for Ellie, then she's not in the right place, and that she should join in the Fireflies, because it's revealed by Riley then she was given cleanup duty by the guy running the other place, and that's why she bailed. And so it's painting this picture then the girls are just being used there. They're just being worked like slaves, and that the people running the place may not have the best interests at heart. Now there's different readings you can have on that, but that's why Riley left. And Ellie storms out in frustration, but then comes back, and you get a nice little fake out, because she thinks something has happened to Riley, and Riley jumps out at her, and that's when she's wearing like the horror mask. It's a good little fake out, because earlier in the episode we've actually got a subtle little look at then there is an infected person round the corner, like quite far away from them, because they're off playing an arcade game, which is not Lethal Weapon, sorry, Street Fighter 2, which is just one of those classic games of that era, and it's one of my favourite scenes of the episode, actually, them being so competitive on this game. And once again, it's just this unusual situation for these girls. They're just not used to having this kind of freedom, being able to express themselves and just, play away at this really pulpy, like, Street Fighter game. So it's a nice moment, but then you get the shot of the thing lurking around the corner, like it just wakes up, and because it's quite far away from them, the camera does a good job in showing that, in like tracking back, but it just plants the seed, and there is like trouble lurking around the corner. But because it's all staged in this big mall, then it means that they may run into it, they may not, but it's very well done anyway, and eventually obviously they do run into it, and it comes after them, like it just happens out of nowhere, and they both get infected. But Ellie, as we know, is seems to be immune from it, so that explains why she doesn't die. Whereas Riley seems resigned to her death. She just thinks this is it, and so she wants her and Ellie to make the most of the situation, like to just be together and stay together and just make the most of it, because they both believe they're going to die at this point. This is long before Ellie has realised that she can't be infected, she can't be killed that way. So they're both believing that then this is it, and they just want to spend the rest of their time together, and it's really beautiful, and it's just very interesting, like Riley's perspective, then, because she's resigned to this life, because she's resigned to dying once she's been infected. It's almost like she doesn't care anymore, the shackles are off. Whereas Ellie doesn't have that worldview yet. She's tormented by this, and she's just the more scared out of the two, and it's really great acting once again from Bella Ramsey. And we cut to the present again, and we see her once again tending to Joel, and then she makes the choice to stay with him, to patch him up with stitches. And it's so what we've seen in the past has really impacted her decision. Then she's lost Riley in the past, so she's determined not to lose someone else like close to her. So it's another powerful moment, another powerful episode. So that's The Last of Us episode 7. Left Behind. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe as always, and I'll be back soon with more The Last of Us. See you later, guys.